Well, I would have a forest full of trees if I turned a new leaf every time I broke a promise that I thought I would keep. And I'ma harbor that in secret. It's hard to hear your feedback. I'm playing like the Phantom of the Opera on a keypad. Hopping off the deep end happily, ain't no wisdom in my teeth left. Just cavities. I've been trying to keep my feet wet. Walking over water, about to run a little farther. Doing a Our Father, but you probably atheist. I'm still speeding like Dennis Hopper. There's a bomb up on this bus, so where the fuck's Keanu Reeves at? You best to relax. I'm staying on my grind, feeling Amy off this wine like I ain't going back to rehab. Feeling like a bipolar reject. I'm even high when I'm sober, and my mind's a solar eclipse. A born-again fetus who should have been aborted. Hopped about my mommy's chest like, what's up, I'm important. That was morbid, dog. And kinda sorta wrong, but nothing's off limits. I've been ripping down walls like Gorbachev. I do it for my dogs and do it for the cause, yeah. You do it for the blogs and do it for applause, yeah. You do it for the wrong reason, so I have to judge. The beat up on your song is decent, but your rapping sucks. That's why I can't endorse it. But still you're in the stores and people flock with open wallets to cop your garbage recordings. But I keep my hands in my pocket, that's ironic, like Alanis Morissette. I hate this game, but I can't just forfeit. Don't want the fame, but I'll take the fortune. The moolah, they say what you give to it, you end up attracting to ya. That's why I put my 2 cents in and got some change back. Guess it all makes sense in my brain, man. My bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say run it. Lot of fish in the say, but 2 ain't nothing. My bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say run it. Lot of fish in the say, but 2 ain't nothing. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us. Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to another live stream. Make sure everything's rolling here. We look good. We look good. My name is Zach. If you're new, this is Real Deal Futures. We will be checking out the markets. Looking at MNQ this morning as we are opening up right here. Make sure you read that first. It's in the description of this video. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just an idiot on YouTube. Nothing I say or do is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Almost everybody that trades loses money. So you decide to make your own trading decisions. Don't copy anything that you see here today. But market is on an absolute tear. We are pushing up right here at the open. Not really surprising. This is looking like close your eyes and buy type of a market. Had a nice trade that we took yesterday that played out. Little $400 win in the XFA. It did go and continue past IB high, session highs, break yesterday's Monday's high, right? Continued up. And overnight session, we opened up and really just were strong. Super duper strong, right? This is the 30-minute. Got Bookmap flashing over on the side. 30-minute chart is looking super duper strong, right? All the way through Asia, all the way through London, above VWAP, holding really strong, not much of a pullback at all. And here we go, opening up very, very, very bullish. This one is really, if we look at the daily, again, this is MNQ. This is the TopstepX platform. I'm in a 50K XFA, a funded account. This is looking super bullish, right? We are breaking above this medium time frame downtrend structure, right? We cracked above all of these highs. If we were trend line guys right here, had a chance to really pull back and sell back off, retested down at this level, put yesterday's low in, really, really strong, long way to the downside, bullish candle, and here we go right off the open, just continuing this move to the upside. So I'd like to find a way in long. I'm going to wait for a pullback. That's my game plan. Similar to yesterday. What's going on, Kevin? Similar to yesterday, I'm going to look to wait a little bit off the open, just kind of not get caught in this volatility, right? It's a 5-minute chart. We are pushed right up at the open, and now we are already back, 30 some odd points just in a couple minutes here, 9:34 a.m. So yeah, I'm going to look to stay patient right off the open. Probably trade this similarly to yesterday, right? Just a little bit more zoomed out, right? Maybe looking at the 5-minute, the 15-minute chart, not super duper zoomed in on the 1-minute, just to try to survive a little bit more volatility that we might see. But the game plan for me, again, not carrying a strong bias until I sit down right here and get all the information in front of me. But the game plan right here, watching what we see from high time frames to low time frames, is to look long on this, at least for right now. If we sell off stupid aggressively, we start coming back into prior day's high, back below, some other areas I have marked on my chart, which I'll go over. I could look short on this, but right now, looking at all time frames, really, this is one of these markets that looks very, very strong, and I don't want to be trying to pick the top if I think it's going to continue, especially. So right here, right now, I'm going to hang tight. Looking at Bookmap, we got some levels pretty close below price. About 20 points below price. And then we have the 22,000 level, really big stack of orders on there, 255 on the book showing. Give you guys a quick look at Bookmap, what I'm seeing right here. This is Bookmap order flow. We're looking at level 2 data here. This is what I'm talking about, coming down into this liquidity right here. Buy orders sitting on the book. Hopefully this thing doesn't crash. Kind of frustrated me yesterday. Got me out of a trade a little bit early. But this is what I'm looking at above price. Big stack of orders. There we go. Volume being traded. Big stack of orders above price at a super obvious level, right? Big, huge round number. That's going to be a pretty serious spot on the chart to pay attention to, in my humble opinion. Yeah, this was it tripping out a little bit earlier. So, really, it's so strong at some of these levels. We're really hardly seeing the algorithmic stuff above and below price. It's really usually lit up. But I'm going to be paying attention to that 22,000 level. And again, as stuff comes on down below, I want to see, do we come right through it? Are we going to tag it? What happens when we get there? Does it stay on the book like it did right here? Do we have a lot of volume traded? Like it's actually orders getting filled? And is it not acting like support and we're just going to continue ripping through it? We might want to pay attention to that. Be cautious before I start looking long. So again, I'm waiting for some kind of pullback on this. A couple areas that I could potentially see. VWAP's an obvious spot. This is the 15-minute chart, right? We're looking really zoomed out just so I can get all of the last couple of days structure on the chart and really have a little bit higher time frame view so I don't get caught too zoomed in. I could see VWAP as a spot where we find some support. I would really have liked to see not this pop at the open. I would have stayed bullish looking at a pullback to prior day high or even lower. Give us an area to structure risk really, really cleanly. Closing the gap for yesterday's close, this morning's open. This is tough though. This is tough. I don't know that we'll get a big pullback. This may be the right off the open grind higher. So I don't have a way in yet, right? Where would I want to place a stop loss, right? You can go something like that and just say, I'm going to play this right off the open. I don't think we're going to come back down and we're just going to blast directly off. That's a thesis. Maybe you go right below VWAP. You run a 75, 100 point stop loss down below VWAP, and that's going to be enough for you. And you say, we continue down further than that. I want to be out, and I'll wait for more structure, more price action to form. I want a little bit more of a pullback. If we don't get that and we just continue, I'll try to find a way in on the way up, right? If we just start blasting off, I'm going to look for some kind of structure and try to trade to the upside. Again, conversely, we start selling off. I really am not. I'm really not looking short until we see like heavy selling pressure, a lot of volume behind it, all the way back down into yesterday's range, and a couple hundred points down, a few hundred points down off these highs. This looks like bulls are in town. We are accepting higher prices, and I think we got a good chance to make this a larger day and maybe into a larger week. I'd like to see this stuff start to hold and continue, but first, give me a pullback. That's what I want first. Don't like the rejection on the 5-minute. Still can continue higher. Yeah. Again, I'm not super duper zoomed in on this, right? I'm staying kind of calm. I could see myself waiting for initial balance, or at least getting closer to it. But I'm going to wait to see, are we just going to blast higher from this level? I'm not going to get in right here, right now, right? I might as well have just been in at the open or in pre-market and be holding a trade right into the open if my thesis was that we're just going to blast higher and I don't need a good way to structure risk. Right here, right now, I want to see if we pull back down first, take some people out that we're getting long, pick up some liquidity from down around here, maybe crack prior day's high. That would be a lot off of these highs. I'd be asking a lot, I think. And then continue higher. And then start to continue higher. That would give me, a way to get in pretty aggressively, right? Maybe buying into selling pressure with a nice wide stop loss to say if we continue way, way, way lower, I think I'm wrong on this day. But that's how I'd like to structure this one. I'd like to be in with, with my size and a wide stop loss to hang on to it. I don't want to start super duper tight stop loss, back and forth, stopped out, stopped out, stopped out. Meanwhile, the market's drifting higher and you're long the whole time. You're just choking your trades out. But this thing could take off without me, and I could be sitting on my hands waiting. So double-edged sword and everything. But appreciate you guys hopping on. Hit the like button if you are trading this morning. We're in for something, man. We're in for something here. I think this could be a larger day. It's already shaping up very, very strong. What's up? What's up? Long time no see. What's going on, man? Yeah, back at it. 9:30 every morning. That's my game plan. NYSE open. Hop on here. Trade live with you guys for free. Hang out with you. Show you how and what I do. I don't claim to be the best trader. Far from it. But I'll show you what trading looks like for me. And maybe that can help you in your trading journey. Along with that, free Discord. If you're not in the free Discord, 100% free Discord. You can hop in there, ask me questions, get all my information, connect with a community of over 1,400 active traders. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome. My goal is to build the best free futures trading community, right? Added a whole bunch of cool features, different channels, leveling. Everybody gets cool name tags and, gets rewards for actually talking and communicating. It's going to be sweet. Psyched. Drop that in. As we watch this market pump and wait to see if we get some kind of pullback, man. Again, big movement, right? Big movement out of Asia and London. Strong drift higher. I'd like to see some kind of pullback. I'd like to see this be a difficult to trade open where we maybe do what we're doing right now and then we come all the way back down. We stay patient the first 30 minutes and then we get a really nice opportunity to the upside. Again, waiting for something like that, the risk is a missed opportunity, in my opinion, that maybe we don't get anything like that and this bad boy just runs. Market's super strong. We like what we got going on with politics and maybe, executive orders and all the different things that are coming out rapidly right now in the U.S. And market's going to accept that and we're going to run. If that's the case, I'm waiting for a pullback. I'm not in long down here and this is the best entry that I'm going to get. That's the risk I'm willing to take because I don't have a clean way to structure risk. Again, the question should be, what are you targeting? Where do you think the market can reach today? I think we got a lot of opportunity. I think this thing can go. From here, it's a lot less than from way down here. But more importantly, where do I structure risk? Where would I want to be out of this trade? And if right now I'd want to be long down here or long down here, that means I don't want to have a stop loss here, right? Or here. So this is just very strong to the upside. And my play on this morning is just going to be wait and see. If we do not pull back to retest any of this good stuff and we just blast to the upside, like I said, my game plan will be waiting, right? We start to take off. We get through 22,000. Bulls are in store. I'm going to look to find a way in. We get some structure. We get something that goes. I'm going to look to find a way in up here, maybe stop loss to say, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong down here now. By the time we push this far up and come all the way back down, I don't know that we continue like that. So, but there's a play long right off the open here, obviously. I could see that for guys. But I'm going to keep myself zoomed out, or fairly zoomed out. 5-minute chart's okay. Yeah, NASDAQ looking strong, man. I'd be surprised if we didn't push 30 points, 30, 40 points and go grab this. We got liquidity right above this level that we're at right here, right in the 75s. I'd be surprised if we didn't crack that and come right into trying out this 22,000 level. If you're a bold man or woman, there's a short off this really, really big psychological level up here. If and when we get it, orders fill, maybe we crack above by 5-10 points. There's a short back to VWAP or short just for a pullback on a strong day like this in a strong trending market, or what I'm looking at as a pretty strong morning and open here. I'm not looking short. I don't want to be caught right on the wrong side of a huge knife. But this is the level that I'm looking at, right? We can mark that, and we can just call it 22,000 for that matter. Yeah, big stack of orders on the book. Big. 276 showing right now. Not a whole lot above that. All right, take a look at Bookmap together. Oh. Well, this is what I'm looking at up here. On a day like today, you don't need Bookmap to tell you that. That's a huge stack of orders. I'm sure we got more than what's showing on here. More participants ready to actually take action up here. But this is a pretty clear line in the sand, at least on this contract. That is the NQ Bookmap, and I am on the MNQ chart here on TopstepX. Let's take a look at related markets here. Let's look at micro S&P. This chart's kind of a mess. Not as strong off the open for ES. Right, let's look at the 15-minute chart just so we can get a better feel. Here's our 9:30 open. Obviously very strong through the overnight session as well, right? Very strong through Asia, pull back to VWAP. London took it higher. Looking at Dow real quick before we hop back over. Dow's not really as strong, right? Bearish at the open, pull back to VWAP, but still holding this structure to the upside. Big pop in pre-market for Dow. Yeah, there's a trade which is long here, stop loss down below these lows, maybe down below the session, and look to hold through this level. I think we're going to go grab this. I'm cautious that after we grab it, that we sell off. We sell off a bit, we get a gnarly pullback, and then continue. And it doesn't give me a great way to structure risk if I'm just long to 22,000 and maybe a quick push above. But I'm tempted to try this one. Yeah, there we go, coming through some liquidity right there. I'd expect some volume to be traded right here. there's really not a ton above on Bookmap, which is a little bit concerning. But again, I'd like to be long now, down here, maybe into this level. That wouldn't have been a terrible play. But again, it's quick. It's, really, really close to the open. We do have our 15-minute opening range that's set. We're cracking that to the upside. Go ahead and mute some of this. Yeah, we're gonna check this out. We're gonna get really close. Almost 300 on the book there. 294. Looking at Bookmap. Major psychological level. If we zoom out, a lot of level. A lot of tops and bottoms there. A lot of impulsive moves off of this level. Right. Came up, tested that right there, tagged it. Big sell back off, cracked above here, came back to mess around with it a handful of times, and then took off from there. This was a clean slice through. Volume traded over here on it, but yeah, this looks like we want to grab it. Now, what happens when we get here? Do we straight up blast off? Do we maybe see what I'm being cautious of, which is some kind of a pullback to sweep down around lows, down around VWAP? I'm going to be looking long after something like that. That's my thesis. Again, long into this level, shooting for a crack above, and then maybe holding a runner. It's not a bad initial play if you're comfortable getting involved in the first 5 minutes of the open. Hanging out right there, man. Just tapped it. If and when we come through this, I think we're going to see a lot of volume trade. I think we're going to see some volatility right here. And again, maybe a big knife to the upside. But I think we could see some resistance here. Push through, orders fill, a lot of sellers up at this area. Pull back and then continuation. Here we go, coming up into it again. Orders filling. It's trading out. There we go. There's a crack through. Let's see. Quite a bit of volume traded showing on Bookmap, but not a massive response. Hanging out right there. There we go. There's a crack through. Interesting. Let's see what we get up at this level. This could blast off right off the open, right? We might not get an opportunity for a pullback, for a really good level of structure to jump in on, for a good invalidation point, and this may just continue. But that's the risk that I'm willing to run up front, staying patient. Like I said, maybe closer to that IB, maybe for the first 30 minutes. For those that don't know, IB high and low is the first 1 hour from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. It's the opening range, right? NYSE opens up right here at 9:30. What's the high and low that's put in the first hour of trading? There's a lot of stats behind that as to what happens when one side gets broken, which side typically gets broken first, and how far we extend past it. We could talk about that a little bit later once we get closer to it and we have that range set. But hanging tight on this. Breaking out from, broke out from that 15-minute opening range high. Pushing higher through the 22,000s. And we do have some orders going on the book above now. Yeah, this thing may just continue to eat these up. This is what I'm looking at right here. Orders up at right around that 25 level. Up at 50. We got orders going on the book. And so far, we are just eating up anything above. So this will be interesting to watch. Let's check out ES. Pushing higher. Strong markets, man. This might be the runaway market. Dow, living in its own world, not breaking highs. Wow. Yep, through the 25s. Super duper strong. Definitely opportunity to the upside. The difficult piece is finding the way in, at least for me, right? If I'm going to hold on to a larger move. Here's the 1-minute chart. We're just going straight up. Consolidated down here a little bit. Again, this was, I think this was your only opportunity to buy a dip and have some way to structure risk on this. For me, this just wasn't enough. This was early off the open, right? Maybe as you start to crack above these highs, into the first 10 minutes. But this is early to get involved with off the open. Cautious about finding resistance at this level once we came up into it. So far, it's been super, super strong. Again, like I talked about, the risk for not getting involved really early on is a missed opportunity to the upside. But if I don't have a really clear way to structure risk on a trade that I want to hold for a longer period of time, and I'm anticipating a potential pullback before a big move higher, I got to stay patient. Got to stick to my guns. Low time frames, maybe you're getting something in here with a stop loss down here, a stop loss down below the lows, and that's paying right now. So I'm going to sit patient, see if we get some pullback. But if you wait for a pullback all day, the tough part is sometimes that never comes. But for me, I don't want to start trying it high as we're breaking out every single time as we're breaking out, and run the risk of getting stopped on normal pullbacks, unless you're running a really, really huge stop loss, off the highs, and you're buying into the highs. So we'll see what the market does, see if we get a pullback, see if we just are going to continue this super strong run. Trading the 20s right now. That was a nice strong pop through the 22,000. We'll see if we start to close up here again. That was a close above on the 5-minute. 15 minutes about to close out. Get the 10 o'clock close coming up. Super strong 1-hour candle, man. Looking at this thing on the daily. That's strong. Really strong. Really strong. It's long America right now. Bulls are in town.
the upper 60s, 70s, all the way up to 110.
Yeah, 2250. We got heavy orders up here. It's interesting, man. I don't know, guys. This may be the close your eyes and buy. That's how you find a way into a market like this. Okay, pull back there. Nice crack lower. $950. We got a nice stack of orders. Here, I'll label these up so we know what we're looking at. Bookmap. 160 on the book, at least for right now. $200 on the book down here. I can get rid of this 22,000. Just the obvious level in between this zone. Let's see. Ooh. We got some more down below price as well. Yeah, 25 below. Yep, it's another 200 on the book. We got buy orders in down here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm gonna make my peace with this one, guys. This is what I'm waiting for. I want to see a pullback, and I'm going to run the risk of not just buying right here, right now, and running a stop all the way down here. Because before we go higher, it's likely that we go lower and then go higher. And I think this can be a really, really large move. I think this can continue higher. We can really put some more juice into this, but I just don't want to get involved up here and have a stop below, a 5-minute candle printing, or a stop, right in the middle of the session. The risk I'm running is just missing more of this move. Like we said, if we break up here, get some more structure, and then continue, I may look to find a way in. I'll have a new level to, structure my risk off of. But I want to see some kind of a pullback. I think this could be a very, very big level of resistance up here. And I just want to watch what happens. We get through this and hold, and we just keep grinding higher. I'm going to look for that slow up into the right day and find my way in. But first, out of this level, I'll wait for this next move to happen. If I have to miss it, I miss it. Because I'd like to see a pullback, pretty aggressive, and then potential continuation. Somewhere down around VWAP, below the open, NYSE open, and then look for a really aggressive long down there, because I don't think that we turn this day around. It's just not a lot that would indicate a beautiful short position to hold all the way down into the ground, at least to me. So that's my thought process on this one this morning. Definitely long opportunities off the open presented themselves for sure. Again, this may be just a little pullback that we get, and find your way in long from up here. There's a trade to be taken right now. I think that's fine. Long from up here, Stop loss down around these lows. Nice 50-point stop loss. And, you're going to hold on to that bad boy all day. And, maybe you come down here, you get stopped out, you kind of watch what happens, you try it again. I think we could find some resistance and pull back from here. And that's what I'm going to wait on. At least for right now. We get one more push up. I'm going to look to try to find some structure to get in. That's my game plan. Strong market, man. Strong market. But appreciate you guys being here with me. Thanks for hopping on. I'm not going anywhere. Probably be here for a couple hours this morning watching this market. I think we got opportunity. But feel free, subscribe, hit the like button. Help me out. You don't have to do anything. Free means free. But I'm going to be here live for free every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And if you want to join the 100% free Discord, be happy to have you in there, man. 1,400 members. Bunch of fun stuff going on in there. Yeah, keep testing these high 20s. Again, I could see this from up here. This is totally cool. You say, hey, Zach, here's my beautiful break retest of these prior highs right off the open. That's clean and I'm getting long. Or, I'm going to go, 50 ticks below that or something. Give it a little bit of room if we have to come back down or maybe even something like that. And, that's going to be my move. I'm going to get long on this bad boy and I'm going to hold on to it. I could see it. Take a quick peek at ES, looking very strong on the 5-minute as well. Kind of had that same little pullback there. Ooh, Dow's catching up. Dow's waking up and wants to come to the party. Yeah, man, this is so strong. So strong. Took off after close and just have not let off the gas yet. Oof, looks like we want to keep going, man. This looks like we want to break. We want to break to 250s. Wow, man. we go. Pushing 30s. Let's see. Let's see. Again, made my piece. I might be watching this one, man. Might be watching this one without much involvement. But you got to be really aggressive off the open on something like this. Really aggressive. But we'll hang out. We'll see what the U.S. markets have for us today, man. 10:12 a.m. Eastern. Got some time before IB high and low coming in. Get some of that marked up, or get ready to get that marked up. That looks like we're going to get our IB low. Yep. Let's see, man. Let's see. Yeah, you know, again, like let's just talk opportunity on this market. Out of this area of consolidation, you know, a pullback, not even to VWAP on a low time frame, and buying a breakout to the upside. If that's your play and you're comfortable doing that every day, or when the market's really, really strong like this, that would have worked really nicely. Really nicely. For me, getting involved that early, you know, under 15 minutes on some volatile markets like we've had, I'll do it, but I've really been trying to zoom myself out a little bit because it gets so choppy and so volatile in here. This obviously would have played very, very nicely. You know, we didn't get a pullback further than that 936 candle, at least here on the 2 minute and 3 minute. That would have been nice to the upside so far. Find a way in there. Maybe you do go wide stop loss down below the session. You say, I think we're going to break out to the upside and just continue. So far up here, this is a small pullback and then a continuation up, right? So we got a very, if we look at the 1 minute, you probably see it cleaner. We got a pullback right to these highs, right off these highs. Clean pullback to tap that area. Buyer stepping right back in to look to continue it higher. Now, do we blast off from here and keep running? It looks like we want to. It really looks like we want to. Again, for me on higher time frame, what am I waiting for? You know, what was I waiting for? Why am I not in a long position? Just not a good way to structure risk. I was comfortable off the open for this thing to pull down way, way lower, retest, close this gap, you know, check out prior day's high, come anywhere down into this level, even lower, really, still looking long. We didn't do that. Blasted straight up off the open. Getting long here on a higher time frame, you know, or medium time frame, looking at like a 15-minute chart. Stop loss, I would have been running something really, really wide because I still want to be long, you know, below VWAP on this. So for me, it's kind of sit patient and wait. And the risk that I ran, which I mentioned a handful of times, is that we kind of get what's happening right now, where we blast off and there is no good pullback. There is no clean way to structure risk. We get these small ones. This isn't terrible here on the 5-minute chart. It's not terrible, but not a super duper clean way to structure risk. And you got to find your way in long up here. You know, that's enough. And you say, okay, I'm in long right here, right now. You know, and there's a trade to be had, right? Like you can go for this for sure. Boom. And, you know, I think we're going to blast through these 50s and we're just going to keep getting orders on the book. We're going to keep extending to the upside. We're going to run. We're not going to come back down and check VWAP out at all, or at least right now, not until we move higher. So we're getting that a bit, but I'm going to sit patient just for a bit longer before I try to find my way in long, close my eyes, hit the buy button, sing the national anthem. Got in long at 21.976 in a practice account. Nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a bad invalidation point, at least for right here, right now, right? If we, because here's the case to be made. Let's go to like the 5 minute. If we come lower on this from this point, right? What happens if we got down here, right? Looks like we might just want to blast off from right here and put another big bullish candle in. But if we came down to this level, right, that might be an invalidation point if you wanted to get long from up here. What is more likely to happen? Is it just a sweep of this low again, and then we blast off? Maybe. Maybe that would be pretty clean for another buy. But I think we are likely to continue lower and maybe come back down and check VWAP out, come hit some of these Bookmap levels. Come check out, the opening candle low. So this isn't a bad spot to look long. A bad spot. You got a level of invalidation, but I don't know that it's something that I would put like, my whole day's worth of risk on here. It's probably something that I'd want to try it, more than once and say, hey, look, I think I don't want to get it. I don't want to miss another move to the upside. If we're just going to blast off from here and keep extending, this is just going to be a runaway move, and we're going to end up super green. Case to be made there. But if you're wrong, you might want to give yourself some time and to be able to try it again. Okay, price comes down and pulls one of these moves. Maybe you want to give yourself a way back in. But had the thesis at the open, had the game plan, and that's all we could do. Lay your game plan out, and then stick to your plan. If the plan was I'm getting long off this, getting long right off the open, wide stop loss, I got to stick to that. This one, I'm now at this point gonna wait. Again, I keep repeating myself, but wait to see, do we pull back? Do we come back down? I'm not gonna look short on this. Do we come back down to check these levels out that are on Bookmap, kind of like we're doing right now, or are we just going to continue to drift higher and I should be finding a way in long here? But 10 minutes to IB high and low setting. Got quite a bit of levels on my chart today just to show you guys where we have stuff on Bookmap. Yep, these are still on the book down here at 50 and 25. This is still here at 50. Just chilling on this. See what we get on this strong day, man. We failed to come lower again, and we just continue to come back up and push highs. I'm gonna look to try it long. That's my game plan. Couldn't come back down lower down. I would like IB high to set. That'd be pretty sweet if we pulled back first. Let's talk about that. IB high and low. Let me get the stats pulled up from Edgeful. If you guys don't know, Edgeful is a pretty sweet platform that provides a bunch of statistics around different markets, different price movements, different levels. So here's the stats. Let's look at a year of data. I was talking about this yesterday as well. And it could be helpful on a day like today as well. Over the last year, NQ, let's talk about what initial balance is one more time. 1 hour opening range, the high and low that's put in from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern, which we're just about 5.5 minutes away from. Let's start with the really, really infrequent. Less than 2% of the time over the last year of data does NQ not break either this side or this side. So it almost always breaks at least one side, if not both. Only 20% of the time, so not frequent, does it break both sides. Does it come up and break the high and then come all the way up and back down and break the low? 77.91% of the time, it only breaks one side. It will break the high and then not come back down and break the low. This is a wide initial balance range. Along with that, when it breaks one side, it typically extends. It typically does not just sweep it. There's numbers to support how far it typically moves outside of that. Could dig into that. But first, along with that, after it sets, there's a report that shows, more often than not, whatever side forms last, meaning we put this low in here on a day like today, and we form the IB high last. We put this high in here at 10:10 a.m. on the 5-minute chart. This side is more likely to break first. 75% of the time on a day like today, this side breaks first. And we know if and when it breaks, we typically don't come down to break the other side, and we typically extend that by a pretty decent amount. So let's see, by performance, how far does it typically extend? Yeah, in points, 58.6 to the upside, and $58.68. So yeah, 58 to the upside and 83 to the downside. Again, can you have a day where it breaks both sides? Can you have a day where you're in that 2% range only the couple times that it happens and it doesn't break either side? Can it break the opposite side first? Of course it can. Nothing's guaranteed here. But we're talking about strong stats behind that, really strong stats behind that. Over 3/4 of the time, we're breaking one side and not breaking the other side. And we know that when we break one side, on average, we extend it by quite a few points. We don't just crack it and then come back down. And we know by a pretty strong statistic that based on how it forms, if the low gets put in first and then the high, or vice versa, which side is most likely to break first. And we know that less than 2% of the time, no side breaks. So I really like that stat to say, okay, we got IB high getting formed last here. We know that only 2% of the time, neither of these break. And we know that one side typically breaks, the other side doesn't get broken. And when we do, we extend. And that IB high is more likely to be broken first. It's a nice target to trade towards and a level to hold through for some movement. Played out nicely yesterday. We saw that play out. So, yeah, we'll watch this thing play. Coming up on this in about 2 minutes, this final level will set, right? Because it's not 10:30 yet. So let's say right here, right now, we push higher. I would have to be extending with whatever candle is moving right here. Same thing if we moved lower, right? The range isn't set until the time frame that we're talking about is finished. But we got a little bit more chop going on than we had before, right? This was a pretty aggressive pullback and then a crack back up. This was, a nice pullback and then a push higher. We would have been back to break even if you decided to get long on one of these candles down here. You'd be sitting around break even right now. This looks like we are still, trying to push higher, but we have a little bit of the steam, running out from buyers here. Just a little bit of momentum dying off, a little bit of volume dropping back off. On Bookmap, we still have orders in the same spots. This looks like 160. This looks like 130, actually 129. So might as well have the numbers on here if I'm going to keep the numbers on. Just for now. And this stuff changes rapidly, right? Bookmap changes rapidly. Yeah, but again, from this level, we keep trying to push higher on this. I'm going to want to look long. Going to want to look long from up here, right? We got more data that's printed. We got buyers saying, no way, we're not letting this thing come down lower. We're not going to retest. We are just going to continue pushing. And, if you want to be involved in this, find your way in or sit out. So we got resistance up here, right? A little bit of consolidation. I think this could be an area where a lot of guys are going short right above the 22,000 level, expecting here to be the spot where we do find resistance and pull back. So I'm going to wait for a little bit. And if we crack these highs, we start to come up higher again, I'm going to consider a long and just find my way in with a stop loss down in this zone. Potentially. I want to see what it looks like. But again, waited on a pullback to this point. We don't get it. We don't get it. I had my thesis expecting some way to structure risk, look for something aggressive. This one right off the open was the closest thing to giving me that. That would have paid so far, but I'm going to look for a move to take everybody out to get long up here, and then a continuation into the afternoon. And I could set that up to tell you exactly what that is going to look like if I don't actually put the trade on right here and now with you guys. We'll lay out exactly what it looks like, so you have my set trade idea, something very, very close that I'm going to be looking at into the afternoon. Yeah, I'm tempted to try it from here. We kind of got this, this little pullback getting broken. And, I could see a trade setup that looks just like this, for a longer hold or, very least to crack above this level. And maybe you structure it really tight. You say, we turn back down around. I don't think this thing's going to continue. I want to see IB high broken and then a push higher. There's nothing wrong with a trade like this. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with something like that. If you say, hey, I want to find my way into this market, right? You kind of zoom out a little bit. You look at the 1 minute. You say we're coming back above what would be a trend line to the downside here. Maybe you use an anchored VWAP. We're coming back above the anchored VWAP off the high. That's an easy way to find your way into a market like that. Just kind of talk about some other ideas. You go ahead and you anchor a VWAP to whatever high gets put in, and after a pullback, you come back above, you get closes above that on whatever your trading time frame is, you look long. We are doing that again from over here. Getting above, breaking above, retesting, continuing higher. If you were just going to trade like, oh, I want to do that. If you were just going to trade maybe bull flags, right? Go ahead and like place a trend line to the upside. You can find your way into the market like that. Simple, straightforward. Outside of just buying on a pullback and waiting for a continuation of the upside, you can use some trend lines to structure your stuff like that and say, hey, look, here's the low time frame pullback that's forming. Now we're breaking above that. I'm in long. I don't want to see it come back below here. I'm in long at the break, a break and close, on a low time frame, to capture some small movement out of it, right? Tempted to put one of those on myself. This looks like a nice break towards 50s. Yeah, I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to be patient. This looks like a break towards 50s. You got a way if you wanted to find your way in to get a stop loss down here. We come back down lower and we don't come up here first and break this high. I think that could be safely said that, hey, we're going to pull back farther right now. So this isn't a bad spot to try to find your way in long. Just not really what I'm looking for today. Really not what I'm looking for in structure and price action. But that's discretion playing a role, right? Deciding, hey, I don't have what I need to put risk on. It just is not setting up the way that I am really looking for good potential. But for somebody else, maybe they're in long down here and they're killing it. Or you're in short up here and you see a nice pullback. But this isn't a bad play. I'll always try to point out stuff that I see forming, right? Like this isn't a bad play looking at a low time frame. 1 minute, 3 minute. We start to break above that high. Stop loss right below the lows. You say, hey, we have to come down and sweep this again. I'm wrong. We're not going to break to the upside. And you maybe can capture, especially if you're really aggressive, entering down here after a pullback and then a little bit of the break of these highs. You capture a nice little risk reward, crack it back up to these levels. Not too bad. Yeah, hanging out, watching the markets, guys. No trade for me so far. Not finding my way in long. Again, this is giving you an opportunity right here, right now. If you're watching this one, I'm waiting for I'm waiting for something that may not come, and I'm gonna make my peace with that. But you get in right here, right? You got a way to structure risk, right? On the 5, on the 15. I think that's pretty clear. You could absolutely find your way in now, and have a positive risk structure. Just coming to the upside. There's nothing wrong with this. Market's pulling back, consolidating. We do have uptrend structure. We were slowed down a little bit. Volume died off a little bit. That's okay. We're after the big bullish open. And you say, hey, you know what? I'm okay getting stopped out if we come lower. I'm wrong on this initial move right here. The next leg up is not here. Maybe it comes back lower and then pushes, but I'm out before that just in case we see a really, really big sell-off. So there's nothing wrong with a long from up here. I'm just not going to take it. It's just not for me today. You can watch how some of these play out. Again, we have a level of structure up here. We have a IB high, which is most likely to get broken right here, right now. We're not likely to come all the way back down and break this level. If we break IB high, which would indicate maybe we continue, everything pointing towards, buys on this one. Level of Bookmap up here. That would be pretty sweet if we cracked up into it, which it looks like we're going to do right now. But for me, coming into the afternoon, I'm going to be waiting to see what happens if we get a pullback. Otherwise, I'm going to be on the side of a big bullish day, man. That's just going to be it. And it'll be, trying to find a way in really aggressively long off the open, and maybe lowering risk to do so, survive a first loss and be able to try it again as an option. But this thing is just not backing off. Sellers are not able to step in on this at all. Scalping with 2 MNQ. Nice. Yeah, NASDAQ is definitely the strongest out of these markets. Just taking a look on the second screen at ES and YM. But yeah, man. Again, appreciate you guys being here. If you're still hanging out, feel free, hit the like button. Help me out. You don't have to do anything. Like I say, free means free. But you can subscribe as well if you want to chat tomorrow. I keep subscriber mode on. Try to limit the trolls that hop in here. Yeah, man. Live every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Trading, watching the markets, trying to find a way into a runaway MNQ market long. Something that makes sense and provides a good opportunity. But not it for me. I think a buy at most of these points would have played pretty nicely. From this area up here, this consolidation, you kind of would have just sat for a while, right? You know, you're getting long up here. You know, you would have sat around break even for the last half hour, 40 minutes. John Green done for the day. Post the P&L. Nice, man. Nice. I'll check it out. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being on. Yeah, so let's frame the trade that I'll be looking for the afternoon here, and I'll kind of give you guys my trading idea, my thought process, what I'm looking for really clearly. Because, like I mentioned yesterday, if I get a no trade session like this is kind of shaping up to be, where I'm sitting here watching the market, I just don't have a setup. At the very least, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm looking for into the afternoon, and what the trade that I will likely be in. Here's where I won't be in a trade yet. If we crack to I'll give you some if-then statements and then really what I'm looking for. If we crack to the upside from here, I'm obviously not in here. I'm not in right now. If we continue this drift and we do not pull back at all, at a certain point, I'm going to look to find a way in. I'm going to get just a stop loss in and try to catch my way into this runaway market. And I'll likely drag stop loss to break even fairly quickly and then try to drag it up in profit if we continue to move. That would be a crack above here, all the way up to the 50s. Maybe a pull back down to this area where we've traded a lot of volume, and then a continuation to the upside. I'm looking long, right? We see something like this. Looking at the 5-minute. I'm going to look long on the way back up out of this zone. What I'd really like to see is what I waited for this morning, which I don't know that we'll get. But a pullback, a much more aggressive pullback, somewhere off these highs, come down and sweep lows, and then start to continue back up. Something that gives me a really clean way to structure risk. I'd like to be long, down near VWAP, down near a retest of VWAP, with a wide stop loss, right? So a lot will have to happen in that time frame outside of just a crazy knife down. I'm not going to buy on the way down, right? I'm not going to be placing my buy order that's getting hit or have a limit in. I'd like to see some kind of turn, right? Wherever that is. That can prevent me from getting in on the way down because maybe we only come down here. Maybe we come all the way down to, near IB low. Maybe we get really, really deep. But I want to see some harsh selling and then a nice rejection, right? Support found, buyers to step right back in to say, yeah, we're going to close the day higher than we're going to push this session high higher. We're coming all the way back up. I'm not going to look short on this. There's not a spot on this chart right here that I'm looking at where I say I'm going to be looking short. In a uncommon, well, not uncommon, in the event that we sell off really aggressively, super, super aggressively, and we start to form like crazy structure to the downside, we get news that comes in, something, really, really aggressively. I don't see that happening right now. I'd look maybe short at some point, but really the move that I'm looking for is long with a nicer way to structure risk, holding for a long movement into the afternoon. This has been such a strong market overnight into London, strong through pre-market. We popped at the open, hardly pulled back. We've continued to make higher highs, cracked IB high. We just put session high in on this, 15-minute, last 5-minute candle. We're still pushing highs. I want to see some kind of pullback and a way to get in long. I want to buy a dip. It's as simple as that. So my risk is, like I said before, and all the way up to this point, hour and 15 minutes, that we don't get a dip and I don't find my way in, and that this dip, isn't enough for me right off the open, or this bad boy right here. So that is my game plan, guys. Something that is a wide stop. We see a big pullback down. Zoom out so this VWAP resets. Let's go to the 5-minute. We see a big pullback down somewhere. Take everybody out that's getting long today. The frustrating go and grab liquidity, sweep stops, whatever the move that you want to call it. I look at it just as normal price action and market structure, and then a continuation to the upside. I'm not looking to buy stupid aggressively right as we're knifing to the downside, but I'm going to buy pretty aggressively as soon as we start to get some hesitation to the upside with a wide stop loss in case I'm wrong and we do have to drift lower. That's what I'm going to look for today. I'm going to look long after a pullback if it comes. Second to that, less likely for me to find a way in. I'll probably just be sitting on the sideline. We continue to do what we're doing. I'm going to try to find a way in. Right? The longer we don't pull back and just keep drifting higher, the more this market is telling us, nope, we're not going to pull back. You're not going to get your entry down lower. We're just going to keep pushing higher. I'll try it up here. Probably lower risk, not as wide of a stop, just down a clean level of invalidation based on price action market structure. And I'd look to protect that position more aggressively. And then again, what I don't really see happening is an insane sell-off that starts to develop where we just, the bottom falls out. I would really rather be caught long and take losses today than be looking short and take losses. So until we got way, probably all the way down below prior day high and kept going, would I look short? I'm not going to try to find the high in this market. Just I don't think that that's a smart move, right? We zoom out on the 30. We got nice structure to the upside. Let's look at the daily real quick, actually. Let's go way back out. Nice structure to the upside. This is forming a strong daily candle. I'd look for an intermediate move to pull back, somewhere in here, get long, and then continue. That's kind of what I'd be looking at, because I think this is very, very strong. Sure, we can find resistance right here and right now. This is very strong, and I think we can continue towards all-time highs. So that's the game plan. That's the game plan, guys. And on that note, hit like, hit subscribe, help me out. I'll help you out the best I can by showing you how and what I do. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. First, I don't claim to be the best trader. I don't claim to know it all. I'm just happy to show you how and why I do what I do here for free and build an awesome community. Hop in the free Discord. And along with that, where I was going, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an idiot on YouTube, live streaming, talking about trading. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all or more of the money that you trade with. Nothing that you see or hear me do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Make sure you do your own research and you decide for yourself how and where you want to lose money. But on that note, guys, this was awesome. No trade session, but we got a clear indication, right? You understand what I'm looking for coming into the afternoon. One more time for everybody that just hopped on because I saw the views jump. I'm looking to buy a dip. I'm looking to find my way in. Wide stop loss for continuation to the upside. Very, very simple. I just mapped that out a handful of times. If I am fast enough and I'm not on the move later, I will call it in Discord with the chart and everything. I'll give you guys my entry, my stop, my target. I'm going to try to get better at doing that after these live sessions. If I have an instance like yesterday where I was take the trade, end of the live session where I'm still in it, I called out my management, tagging everybody live in the chat with the chart, showed you exactly when I was going stop loss to break even, and when I got out of the trade, P&L, all that good stuff. So this was awesome, guys. I appreciate you. I'll be back here every day, 9:30 a.m. free. I'll be in Discord. Come and say what's up. Trade well, structure your risk, stick to your plan. Talk to you guys soon. I will see you tomorrow.